Hey, what's going on there, YouTubers? Welcome back to my channel, The Old Rookie. Today's conversational topic, well, about my adventures at Swift Transportation. Y'all know that every single one of these videos that I produce and release to the YouTube world is not intended in any kind of way to bash the company that I work for. All this is just to tell y'all about my personal experiences working for Swift. With that out of the way, let's begin. So there's something that I was not taught in orientation or in any kind of OJT by anybody else. All the OJT that I have received, which that's on-the-job training, right? Has been picked up by my lonesome. And some of the stuff that I figured out right away was the ELD system, which is the Qualcomm system that's going to be in your trucks. It can be a nightmare, which the ELD system to me is new because I came from a tablet-based program. But and the camera system set up on the truck, that can also be kind of a nightmarish situation. So here's why. I'm going to start off with the ELD system, which is your electronic log through Qualcomm. So I have been in 3 different trucks with Swift. A 2017 model Cascadia, a 21 model KW, a 21 model M2. Actually, I've been in 4 different trucks, and a 14 model M2. And my 21 model M2 that I'm currently in right now, which is I call it Mini-Me. It's a mini Freightliner that we use to haul vans across the United States. It's been having some technical difficulties, we'll just say. And they're not easy to get straightened out. Normally it would be just as simple as, take it to the service shop and let them get it knocked out. But what is not explained is a lot of your service shops, they only have just a handful of employees working on so many trucks. And I know it's prioritized by trucks that are claiming to be loaded versus probably owner-operator trucks versus company driver trucks. So I can tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, if you have ELD systems, and it doesn't matter where you take it from East Coast to West Coast terminals to get it fixed, you're going to be parked there all day long unless you personally know somebody or you're buying them tacos. So there's a lot of freezing, the units turning on and off, the units just logging you out randomly. There's a lot of unknown position locating, at least my experiences, off of this one truck. Out of all the other trucks, never really had any issues. But this one truck has given me issues, and I know it's just not down to one vehicle because, you know, you meet a lot of drivers, you know, at these terminals, and it's very repetitious. And finally, I was just up in the greater Dallas area, and how we were able to rectify that discrepancy was actually getting on the phone with Qualcomm support. And this is also something that they don't tell you when you're going through your training. Doesn't matter what kind of training. You can look up Qualcomm and look up their support, or you can call Phoenix headquarters and request Qualcomm support, and they'll transfer you over. So if you're having any problems with your ELD Qualcomm system, that's what you need to do, and then go through the proper steps with them over the telephone to get it fixed. But keep in mind, if you just started off your day and you came off of your 10, or you came off of a reset, whatever, it's going to be harder to fix your discrepancies with that system because you're going to be moving. The best time to fix it is when you stop for the day. because typically it will take about 45 minutes if they have to do any kind of hard resets, which that would be on the back side of the system. So they will have you sign out of your system, and then they will spot beam it with some kind of error fixing program on the back side that you can't see. And you'll just have to leave your unit alone for about 45 minutes to an hour. So that's how we ended up fixing this. But I had 3 different terminals hands-on with my unit, and they couldn't get it done. So we were able to finally just get it fixed, just going straight to Qualcomm. I could have saved a lot of time and a lot of headache, because y'all know that if the wheels aren't moving, you're not taking the cabbage to the bank, right? And we all like rolling around on a head of cabbage, but that's just not going to happen if your wheels aren't turning. And if you have to deal with the shop, you might as well be down for almost a whole complete day. And that's very frustrating if you just started your day. You know, let's say you're doing your pre-trip, your ELD freaks out, or you have something wrong with your trailer, or something's wrong with your truck. Well, you're toasting your 14 hours, or at least it used to be. So there's been some changes with the FMCA that helps out truck drivers. But before, it was cooking your hours. I mean, because once that clock started running, the clock started running. It was hard to stop it, or hard to kind of shape them hours to benefit you, especially if you roasted 4 or 5 hours at your home terminal, you know, hunting down and trying to rectify maintenance issues with any kind of equipment. So y'all know, pertaining to the ELD system, the Qualcomm system in your truck, that is severely outdated. I think the one in my 21 model truck, Qualcomm told me, was 7 or 8 years old. So it kind of puts a little perspective into the equation. Just go straight to Qualcomm. That is within your rights as a driver to go straight to Qualcomm. And don't be hesitant on doing it either, because this is affecting your paycheck. Your paycheck's your livelihood. Swift wants to have happy drivers. Happy drivers equivalent to profitable income for the company. So, number 2, the camera system in your truck. So there's no more forward-facing cameras into the cab for reasons unknown. There is outward-facing cameras. There's 2 generations of this camera. You have one that is fairly large, and then you have another one that's extremely small. It's about the size of a like a GoPro Hero, you know, the small Heroes, or kind of like something that would clip to a computer, a webcam camera. It's something about like that size, and it's more sensitive. So it's going to be outward facing. It's going to be connected to distance traveling to the truck for the driver, and all that goes against safety points. And from what I understand is each safety point that's accumulated with Swift will take roughly a month of perfect driving to cancel it out. And those have dire consequences to your employment with the company, or any kind of bonuses, or any kind of extra money incentive that might hit your paycheck or keep paychecks coming in. So keep in mind, if you're driving through congested areas, cities, construction zones, if you get into heavy traffic, because you know, when you get into construction areas, I'm going to use construction areas as an example. A lot of these constructions, they like putting up them concrete barriers, which significantly narrows the lane down to sometimes 9 feet wide on an 8 foot wide truck. And if you're running cruise control with the lanes being so close and so narrow, it's almost like, you know, the camera system is very rudimentary. There's not much give like in a car, and I'm going to use it just like a residential style car. The technology is more advanced. I guess a quick example, you know, so I'm not squirreling off here. In the KW, in that 21 KW that we use in our stack team, you could be going uphill with cruise control on, and as you're climbing the hill, there'll be an overpass crossing the top of that hill. That system will read that bridge and slam on the brakes. Doesn't happen like that in cars. but it sure as heck happens like that in trucks. And I'm sure the system's more sensitive because, you know, you could have 80,000 pounds rolling and they have it adjusted out to where it needs to stop as soon as possible. Because, you know, 60 miles an hour, it's going to take you a couple football fields to get stopped if you're traveling that speed. So with that being said, it's easier just to say, if you get into congestion, if you get into any kind of city driving, construction driving, any kind of traffic jam, you need to get off cruise control. It doesn't matter what speed. Because even though, like in my truck, there's no notification alarms that are telling you, hey, you're too close, you're too close. But it's racking against my safety points. And you can't even see it because it's not on any of the Swift apps that they give you. You have to actually get on another driver portal and pull up your safety points. And I can't remember how many points it takes for you to be terminated. But it's the points are up there, but it's not in the hundreds, I guarantee you that. But they'll start barking at you before you get that high to let you know that you are on their radar and safety is looking at you. So just to let y'all know, camera systems, get off cruise control. Immediately start slowing down. Put at least 6 seconds in between you and the vehicle ahead of you. You do that and you'll be okay. If you don't do that, well, it's only a matter of time before they get you. I'd just like to do a little question highlight. I was asked yesterday some questions about my physical process and my sleep study process. And just to do a quick recap to the person who asked that question, this is you know, for you and anybody else that might be interested. When I was contacted by my recruiter, even though that I had a valid medical, I still had to go through the process with Swift, which I thought was kind of weird, but I went through the process with Swift. And once I was deemed hireable through Swift, they transfer you to another individual that's working side by side with your recruiter that sets you up for that physical. And mine was in my home city, and it was through Concentra. And basically I went in, they clipped my hair, I had to urinate in a cup, and I had to go through an actual physical process. And that included, you know, like the groin check. And they did a measurement of my neck, and then they did a BMI. And between my BMI and the measurement of my neck, they deemed it necessary for me to conduct a sleep study. And this is where I was kind of confused, because obviously the way that the doctor was explaining it to me, some stuff may have changed within the Federal Motor Carrier regulation and laws, that if you haven't had any kind of sleep study done for X amount of years, it doesn't matter, you will have to have one performed. And all of that is out of the cost of the driver. Swift would not pick any of that up. So with that being said, the doctor said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you kind of I think it was a 4-month medical card, and within 4 months you're going to have to get a sleep study done. And that process took about 2 weeks, took about a week for it to come in, and then it was overnight. Put on it kind of like a watch, and put these little electrodes on you, and you got to do a little finger thing on the opposite hand, and then send it back off. And almost another week later, they will give you the results, and then they'll forward those results to the medical office that you were using, the clinic that you were using. And then after that, once if you've either been cleared or you haven't been cleared, so let's say that you've been cleared, that you don't have sleep apnea, then Swift will bring you in as of immediately to start your orientation. And they'll either put you on a Greyhound, or you'll have to drive to whatever location that you're applying, or that's going to be considered your home terminal. If you're not cleared and you are diagnosed with some kind of sleep apnea, doesn't mean that you are no longer included to become an employee with Swift. It just means that you're going to have to go get outfitted for some kind of a medical device, and you'll have to have that device and your certificate on hand. So when you go through a scale house, you end up having to talk to some kind of law office or state trooper for whatever state that you're driving through, and they ask questions about it, you could produce the evidence that they need that allows you to still perform as a professional driver. And the device will probably, if you don't have any kind of insurance, the device will end up costing you out of pocket, and it can be pretty pricey. I'm sure that there's probably avenues out there that I know nothing about that you'd have to do your research, but I know some of them devices could be $800, if not more. But like I said, I'm sure that there's cheaper ones out there that could just get you going. So don't take my information to the bank, right? I'm just letting you know what I think and the experiences that I've had personally. And then after that, if you want to know anything about orientation, all you gotta do is head back the opposite direction on my page and look up some of my orientation videos. I don't mind doing follow-up videos if y'all have any questions and you don't want it in text form, you'd like a video. Yeah, I'm pretty good about responding a couple of days later. I am over the road, and sometimes the areas that I do travel in, I don't have very good cell phone reception to do these mobile uploads like what I'm doing right now. But you give me a little bit of time. I understand sometimes time is of the essence, but yeah, I'll respond. Or if you just want it in text form, I'll come back. But I always do a follow-up to most of my questions on my videos. Last but not least, y'all, I just want to tell y'all about my last experience. And it's really, it has impacted me because my team driver, his truck, which is the 21 kW that I have referenced often so far, it has had a right side headlight issue. Turned out to be something that leaded back to the wiring harness that went back to the computer. I don't know. But I know that his truck has been in the shop for over a week. So with that being said, over a week is a long time if you think about not getting paid, but he is getting a what they call $75 a day reimbursement, hamburger money per diem bonus to basically keep him alive. But $75 a day really isn't going to pay for anything. It would mean more if we could get into like loaner vehicles, but unfortunately the terminal that I operate out of is not big enough to have just a lot of trucks laying around. So I do have to pass that along to y'all. It's been a positive and negative experience, not a negative experience from our supervisors. Our supervisors can only do as much as they could do because, their hands are tied too. They can't snap their fingers and poof, there's a loaner vehicle, that the employee could hop in to still make money. That's why they give the $75 a day. But so the truck went to an approved Kenworth shop to get the necessary warranty works performed, and we got the telephone call today. So like I said, it's been a little more than a week. The reason I'm telling you this is because anybody and everybody needs to be prepared, because once again, this is not anything that is talked about when you get hired on pretty much at any company, unless you have that experience and you already know what questions to ask. And if the question was asked in orientation, I'm sure I'd been told at least $75 a day. But I need to let y'all know, once you get hired on and you have any severe mechanical breakdowns or any electrical issues, these are the ones that really kill the money in the bank. You need to be prepared to be able to live off of a minimum amount of money that still will be taxed. That $75 doesn't mean it's going to be $75 a day in your bank account. That is taxable money. So you could take the daily percentage of your tax gross and deduct it by percentage off of your overall total, and that will give you an account summary based on what you think that you're going to have in your account. And you should do at least 3-day minimums. Even though they could have them rectified in a day and a half, it's always better to go 50 plus up, right? So I'd be adding on another day and a half to give it 3 days. It kind of give you kind of a tally if you were to have a breakdown out in the field. And this should help you, you know, if you got things that you're wanting to pay off or money that you're trying to save or whatever, you know, daily life stuff that, you know, that we have to have a little bit of cash in the bank to get through. That will tell you if you ever get into a bind, what you could be looking at. All right, well, with that being said, hopefully I was able to answer and spotlight any immediate detail to any knowing question that might be out there. Load me up in the comment section if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to oblige with an answer. But until then, I appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe and smash that bell and that like icon so y'all can be informed when my videos are being pumped out here. And yeah, until next time, don't forget to become a family member of the Old Rookie page. That is the best way that you could support me and my page. I am a growing page. Any of y'all are motorcycle enthusiasts, head on over to my Paranormal Biker page. I do everything Harley and Harley related. I am about to branch out of the Harley realm and start talking about other motorcycles on that page. But I'm all about DIY and do it yourself. So please, if you like motorcycles, check me out over there. And if you like that, smash that like and that subscribe icon too. Until next time, y'all take care and stay safe out there.